Welcome everyone to another episode of Daxter's Chill Zone, the podcast. Today I am joined by Cuzimadinosaur, my good friend Vanessa. I kind of stuttered. Shut up. Welcome in, Vanessa. Hopefully you're having a wonderful evening. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Vanessa basically because she's here. That's crazy. A different host. That's not Ray. Yep. What?
Is this the first time?
We actually, so I've filmed a bunch of podcasts with Ray, but the second episode that went up was one with me and my friends from so when I started YouTube, I ended up finding a group of friends through just like YouTube. I saw if I found someone's channel, because when you go on YouTube, you can kind of, the cool thing about it is you can filter out like the big channels and stuff. So I found another small channel. This is my good friend Dragon, and I hit him up on PlayStation. I was like, hey, I like your stuff on YouTube. We should play together sometime. And he was like, yeah, all right, I'm down. Shit, let's do it. And I joined in on them playing like a game of like hide and seek, but in Call of Duty. It was like a custom game that you could do. And ever since we've just flourished into like a good friendship. But I had those guys on. It was we used to call ourselves the poop squad, and so that was that was our second podcast. But this is the third podcast. I know we're gonna get some more guests, but Vanessa's here because I'm a dinosaur. She's very awesome, and all her good stuff will be down in the description if you guys want to go find out where she's at. But yeah, welcome in, Vanessa. Jeez, it's the
third episode.
This would be the sixth, I think.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, I could have sworn you had more.
Yeah, no, this is the third time because this is the third person that's been on the podcast, I would say.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, cut you off. Yeah, like it's been a while though.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while. I haven't really. Vanessa lives back in where I used to live at. We used to hang out basically all the time. I know you guys have seen her if you guys watch Dax Days. She's been I think in both of them actually. You've been in the vlogs. I mean the Dax vlogs. You've been in both of them. Yeah, because you've been on both trips. Well, the other one hasn't been released yet, but the one the one that's already out is you're on there. That was a good time. That was definitely a good time.
Helped film that one a little bit, but
that's true. You did. We had some good shots from it.
We have we got a lot from there.
Vegas. It was pretty cool. That was the Joker had just come out.
Yeah, that one was pretty funny.
Yeah. Talking about the Joker, your hair. It's red and black. Do you want to explain how that happened?
Well, I'm just a really big fan of Harley Quinn. And well, I'm such a nerd that I was reading the comics, and in her comics, she had the black and red.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like in the Suicide Squad, she had the blue and red, but I like the black and red more, so I went with that. And like that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, you've definitely had this look a long time. Oh, what are you going to change, or what are you thinking about changing it into? Because you've had this is like your signature look for such a long time.
I know. Part of like doesn't want to let it go because I do like it. It's just a lot of upkeep, and I really don't like bleaching my hair as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, I guess for like the past year or so, I've been like really wanting to change it, but just not like ready to pull the trigger yet.
Yeah, you're gonna shave your head, right? That's the next move. Just shave it all off. Mad Max it.
Yeah, that'll be the next one. Get some like head tattoos.
Oh hell yeah! It's gonna bring all the lovers. Gonna come straight to you. Be like, oh, that look.
And eventually transition to like a couple of tattoos on the face.
Oh yeah, get the little teardrop. You can't get face tattoos without a little teardrop.
I gotta kill someone first for those.
Is that how that works?
I think those are the rules.
I've been in prison a couple of times. I know a thing or two.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Um,
cool.
but yeah, I'm thinking uh like jet black on top and then fade to like you know those like silver kind of
like
color.
like like frosted like tips type of.
Yeah, kind of something like that, but I'm thinking either like a pink or a violet color or something.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
pretty nice. I like that. I'm
Yeah.
really starting to like the color pink.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, man. It just looks like a really nice color. I like purple and pink right now.
Mhm.
I used to really like what was it? It was like black and blue were just about everything for me, and then I don't know, just like I guess I just kind of grew out of it, and I'm like purple, purple and pink are kind of cool,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
now I'm just like looking into those.
Yeah. I agree. Pink is actually really cool. Um, I think what got me into pink was when I would see lighting that's like light blue and pink. You ever notice that a lot?
Yeah, it looks really like appealing to the eye. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like how in every movie they always use blue and orange.
Do they?
It's like yeah, like and it even in like posters, if you
Mm-hmm.
look at most of them, there's always the main colors are gonna be like blue and orange.
Is it like an appealing to the eye type of deal? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
it's because they're like complementary colors or something.
I need to learn. I need to learn how to do that. I still don't know how to dress myself at like a good old 22-year-old. You know, uh, my when I was younger, of course, my mom dressed me, and then at some point, I was like, no, I'm gonna dress myself, and then I would just get made fun of because I never dressed like a normal person would. Like I'd have, I remember I used to wear these big old fucking boots. I would wear shorts, usually either khaki or like uh, camo, and then these long socks, and then like a sweater. And I remember the big criticism I used to get for wearing that combo was like, "Are you cold or are you hot?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" It was because you're wearing shorts and then you're wearing a fucking sweater. That doesn't make sense. And I just didn't. I, I was bullied, all right.
Are you
But
cold or you
it was just like stuff like that.
could have just been like my legs are hot, but my arms are cold.
I just got a lot of leg hair. Don't hate, all right? Don't hate. But you said that you like comics and stuff. Would you happen to think that DC is better than Marvel or Marvel is better than DC?
I don't really think either one is better than the other, to be honest. I think
Ooh, hot take, hot take.
like they're a lot alike. They literally steal from each other. So it's just if anything, they have like a different feel to them. I don't
Mm,
know how to explain it. I read more DC than Marvel, but
yeah,
I grew up like on more DC stuff.
yeah.
Um, but I do enjoy like both of the movies from either one. Uh, but with Marvel, I don't know too much about them.
Yeah.
And when I thought about getting into those comics, it was just really hard for me to figure out where to start because everything with Marvel is just so like interconnected and like if you read one character, they're like a part of all these teams and it's like okay, well, I'm the type of person
Mm,
where like okay, well then that means that I need to read all of these in order to get the full story and it
I
was
know what you
overwhelming.
mean. I know what you mean. I don't read too many like comics out here from like the US. I usually tend to read like manga and stuff like that, and they don't really go well. From what I've read, they don't get too complex as in like universe wise. But I know that when I was trying to go back and watch the whole like Marvel cinematic universe from like start to finish, I wanted to go. I went back and I went to see what started it off, like what episodes, and I also did it for the DC, the CW shows because they have a bunch of those now.
Yeah.
I went back and I looked up a list of like what they are in order because there's like chronological where it's like even though the show came out, let's say, like a year ago, it's supposed to be in the story wise supposed to happen before the original show, which was like 5 years ago or whatever. So
Yeah.
there's different lists, but I'm the type of person that's like I have to watch it right because if I don't watch it right, it's gonna be wrong, and then people are gonna like you're gonna be out of
Yeah.
the loop. I know what you mean. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
or you're gonna like watch something and then find out like, oh, I should have watched this before I watched this because now I'm spoiled on what happens in this or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, definitely. I
you
know
get
what you mean.
you get that a lot in the comics, like
Mm-hmm.
because I've been trying to catch up because ever since DC went from New 52 to Rebirth, I just haven't really been reading, so I've missed almost the entirety of Rebirth because they're like transitioning to a new era now. I forget what it's called, but now that I'm trying to catch up while I'm reading like one comic, like I'll start with like like say like Green Arrow. I was reading that, and then partway through there'll be like a an issue where they talk about something, and then if it has to do with another comic, they'll put like a little note, and it'll say like, oh, see what happened with this in this issue from this comic.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes like if it's little things about like comics I know I don't care about, I'll just be like, I'm fine with not knowing about that.
I don't even know
But
about Cat Viper, whoever that is.
yeah, but then I'll be reading and then like this happened to me recently where I'm reading and then out of nowhere it's like, oh, so and so died. And then I'm like, huh. And then I go to the next one and it's like their funeral, and then they're talking about how like they died in like this whole like crisis thing that happened with all these other comics, because then they'll
Mm-hmm.
do like what's called events where all of these superheroes all go into like one storyline that's like a big event for everybody.
Would they call
And
that? Is that like a
yeah,
different comic? So, like, let's say that Superman, Batman, and the Green Arrow are in the same comic. Do they put it under the Green Arrow? Do they put it under the Superman? Do they put it under Batman, or is it like their own name, like a Justice League type of thing?
it's it just kind of depends because there's because when it comes to like an event or like a big storyline, usually it'll have like its core issues, like the core issues,
Mm-hmm.
and then it'll have tie-ins is what they're called. So it's like you can read just the core issues and get like the main story, but if you want to see like some of the side stuff going on, or like there might be some extra stories happening in like the different comics. So like say one of the recent ones they did was like Batman Metal, and it was like this big storyline going on with like all these different Batmans from different universes. But
Mm-hmm.
then they had tie-ins like there was like a side story going on with like some of the Teen Titans and the Suicide Squad and like a couple of other characters. They were like trying to get to like the center of like all of this apocalyptic stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so their issues, that whole storyline was just in tie-ins. So like you'll get the first part in Suicide Squad issue 27 or whatever, and then like if you want to read the next issue of that storyline, go to like Teen Titans issue 13 or something. So
Yeah.
they'll have tie-ins like that, or they might like talk about what's going on in another issue.
Yeah.
Or sometimes what they do is instead of having just the separate core stories or issues, they'll just they'll have the actual storyline in a couple of like stories. So like I don't know if that sounded confusing. So like say there was this mini storyline with the Flash in Batman,
Right.
and
So we're in Batman Metal. There's a mini storyline for the Flash. Is it called
y-
Mini Batman, and then under Mini Batman it
n-
says the Flash?
no, well it'll be like say for the Titans side one, I forget what it was called, like shoot, like it'll say like in the tie-in it'll just say like say like the Flash, and then it'll say whatever that side storyline was, like the road to El Dorado. I don't know. Just like as an example.
Yeah.
And then, but then it'll be like in the title, it'll say like a Batman metal tie-in or something. Like they'll
Oh,
let
it
you
actually
know.
says it. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
For sure. For sure.
If it's a tie-in, they'll definitely say it. And then, but like say when they do like a little mini um storyline crossover, like say there's a different story in Flash where like Reverse Flash is beats up Batman for like this whole time travel thing,
Yeah.
and it like starts out in like Batman issue 37 or whatever, and then it'll be like, oh, part 2 is in the Flash issue 28, and then part 3
Mm.
is back in like Detective Comics issue 14 or something. But they always tell you like what issues to read to continue on, and it'll like usually say
Mm.
what the storyline is called. So it'll say like the Flash War or something, but it'll say like part 1 and then like part 2, and yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool though.
yeah.
That's still pretty cool. Did you? Okay, so you've read, like you said, you've read more so the DC side of things. You've kind of debated and maybe like dabbled your fingers into the Marvel side of things. Have you ever read any manga, anime, anything like that?
When I was in elementary school, I did. Yeah, cuz I was really into Dragon Ball Z then, and I was into collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So
Oh,
yeah, so I used to buy the Shaolin Jump books. So
Shaolin Jump. Is that the? Wait, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't think I know what that is.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, Shaolin Jump. It's like it's basically, it's not like a magazine, but it's like this big book, and it just has like a bunch of manga stories in it,
Okay, okay, for
like
sure.
and stuff.
Shonen
It'll
Jump.
show yeah, Shonen Jump,
I might be
Shaolin.
wrong. I might be wrong. You might be right. I might be wrong. I don't know. I'm just. I know that
That's,
Shonen Jump is like a publisher of like things like that. But
yeah,
I'm not too sure.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. But yeah,
Shaolin Jump.
it would have different things in it because I know it had like issues from Naruto. One
Okay.
it would have uh Dragon Ball Z. It had a couple in there, and then it had just like a couple I never heard of. But
Hmm.
I would try and get those sometimes.
But you're not, as of right now, you're not really into them.
No, no, not really.
I'm not
No.
into those kid drawings. Yeah. I get it, Vanessa. Whatever, dickhead. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but did you watch any anime when you were younger?
Yeah, mainly Dragon Ball Z. I was
Mm-hmm.
really into that. What else is anime? It wasn't
What
until
else is anime?
it wasn't until recently that I saw a couple of animes. Well, I'm pretty sure it's considered anime. Like Cowboy Bebop. Just watch that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I
Uh,
got like it just reminded me so much of Firefly,
mm-hmm.
or Firefly reminded me of that.
That's
So
a TV show, right? The Firefly.
yeah, it's supposed to be like space cowboys.
Oh, I didn't even know. I've been told to watch Firefly, that TV show, and I've also been told to watch Cowboy Bebop because both are pretty good. So I'll have to put that on my watch list.
Yeah, this might be an unpopular opinion, but
Ooh, hot take incoming.
I didn't really like Firefly as much as everybody else did. Yeah, like
Canceler.
everybody is like, it's the greatest sci-fi show of all time and stuff, but I'm like, I don't know. I've seen better ones. I don't know. I don't know. Like
Like
they're
the
pretty
100.
no, definitely not that. That was good though.
Yeah.
Like let's watch the whole first season. I
Yeah.
swear though, the second was better. Second, but yeah, that show's definitely hit or miss.
So for the viewers that don't know, well, I don't think we ever talked about it, or I ever talked about it. But at one point, I'd say a few years back, me and Vanessa here, you came out. I think we planned on going out somewhere, but then I guess we just didn't. I don't really remember what happened.
I think no, I came over to hang out with Kimberly because she was like, "Hey, you want to hang out and stuff?" And I was like, "Sure." And then I think you were there on your own, and so I was like, "I'll hang out." And turns out like she went somewhere else and was just like gone all night.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I think yeah, that's right. For
Yeah,
you
she
guys
just
don't know, Kimberly's my sister. I think she ended up knocking out. I think when she got back, she was like, "All right, I'm gonna go to bed," and we're like, "Okay," and we're like watching the 100, the first
yeah,
season.
yeah.
But yeah,
That's
we cracked a lot of jokes. I don't think it's that bad of a show. I mean, I've seen some pretty shit shows, and I don't think it was that bad of a show. We actually when we went to, was it Comic-Con Revolution? Was it there that we went to the panel and it was the 100 panel, but the main actress wasn't there for some
oh
reason?
yeah, it was WonderCon.
WonderCon. It was
Yeah,
WonderCon.
yeah, yeah. I think she was like sick or something.
She had COVID before COVID was a thing.
Yeah, with her, she's patient zero.
She was coughing up a whole storm. She got it from the 100 set.
Yeah.
But some talking about conventions. Have you gone? Okay, so I've been with you to conventions twice. How many conventions have you gone to? Because it's a really cool experience. If you guys haven't gone to a convention at all, I recommend it. But I mean, it's COVID right now, so don't. But I mean, in the future, you should definitely check it out. But how many conventions have you been into?
I went to a lot of them actually, because that first year, when we went to WonderCon, that was like I think that was the first convention I had been to, and then right
Uh,
after that, I was just like hooked.
I
So
need to go everywhere.
I was like, okay, what other conventions are there? I looked them up just to see which ones were like in California at least,
Yeah.
and pretty much I would just like almost every month go to a convention.
Wow.
Yeah, but I've quickly learned like once you go to one of them, you kind of gone to all of them because it's usually the same people, unless you go to like a different like
Area.
yeah. But I feel like all the ones that were in like SoCal
Mm-hmm.
are gonna be the same people because you end up seeing the same like vendors and artists and artist alley and stuff.
That's so true. I completely forgot about that. I actually have a photo. I don't remember. I don't remember who he was. I just remember that I liked his art a lot, and I was like, "Can we take a picture?" And then he was like, "Yeah." And I think you actually, you guys, I think I might have been hanging out with you. It was at, I think it was this was WonderCon because I know I got a shirt. It was at Comic-Con Revolution. I got a shirt. It was a Paranormal Activity, but like instead of like having like weird or whatever ghosts, it was the Pac-Man ghosts coming through the door. I remember I bought that, and it was the last one in that shop. I was so happy because I was like, I don't know if I have enough. But then he was like, it's the last one, and I was like, I have enough. Give it to me. I have enough. And
I think I do remember that. Yeah, because it was like that.
It's like a big old cage of like
giant shirt.
shirts. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Because that's where I got my Green Arrow one, and then
Yep.
I got this weird beanie. That one was
Uh,
weird.
I remember I also got
You took a
told.
picture with him?
Yeah, or not the shirt guy. I took a picture. I think it was one of those like we had fuck, I don't really remember. It was like it was like it was on Artist Alley. He had, I think it was like something to do with turtles, and we're like, "Oh, this is really cute." I think you bought a book from him. I could be wrong. Either it was you or Johnny. Johnny is another friend of ours. Oh, I actually have the video WonderCon up. That's I forgot completely about that.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Because we were because that's when we were trying to do the flyers and stuff
That's right.
for
And
for
I was
when I had a
supposed to be
podcast.
I was supposed to be a cameraman, but then that
Yeah,
didn't go
we
didn't go
chickened
as
out.
planned. Didn't
Yeah,
go as planned. We'll do one, and I'll be putting my podcast out there and interviewing people, and then we'll make that a whole episode. Fuck it, why not?
yeah, yeah. I'll be your cameraman.
Yeah, you'll be my camera woman. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool experience. Like I said, well, not Comic Con, but like just cons in general are really cool to go to. I remember there was this woman at one of the cons. She had a, what are they called? It's like a old timey Western looking thing, like BioShock type esque place. Punk something.
Oh, steampunk.
Steampunk, yes. They had
Yeah.
like a steampunk thing going on, and then they had guns there. They were like really cool. And I remember
Yeah,
how,
yeah, I remember you were looking for them.
yeah, I saw the this like really cool gun shop, and they had the ones that like clicked and stuff. And so I don't know, man. I'm over here like I want to hear what it sounds like when I click it. And so I'm over here like clicking the shit out of this gun, and the woman's just standing there looking at me while I'm like clicking the shit out of this gun, and she's like, "Hey, you can't click it that much." And I'm over here like, "What do you mean?" As I'm like still clicking. She's like, "No, you can't click it because if you mess up the gun, you're gonna have to buy the gun." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't have enough money to buy this gun."
It was
As
like,
I'm like clicking it, I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna put it back down."
it was like $200 or
Yeah,
something.
man, those things are hella expensive. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, these guys make it like look really nice. But I know I remember another big shock when I went to. I don't remember. It could have been WonderCon. Because like you said, like you go to one, you kind of know what the other ones look like. But I remember I walked into, it was one of the vendors' booths, and he had art up. I remember specifically he had a Nightmare Before Christmas art that looked really nice, and I was like, "Whoa, this is super pretty." And then I got closer, and I saw there was like that little, because it was like portrait, and it had the frame on it, and they had the little thing right next to it of how much it was. That thing was like $2,000, and I was like, "Oh man, darn! I left my $2,000 at home," and I was like, "No, I'm not gonna. I need to get out of this booth. It's too rich for my fucking blood. I'll just go online and see about buying something off of like Amazon or something. Fuck this."
That's what I started saying sometimes, because there would be like, because there's mainly like a bunch of booths where they just want to talk to you and they don't care if you buy their stuff or not.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's like some of them that are kind of pushy. And like
Yeah.
I know one booth where this guy, he was like selling this one book, and it was like a vampire erotica or something like that. And he was like really like trying to advertise it to me, and I was just like, "Oh, like it's cool, but it's just not my thing." And he was like, "Oh, well, what do you normally read?" And I was like, "I normally read comic books and stuff, and like, superhero ones." He's like, "Oh, well, this has like superpowers in it, and all
This
this."
is a
And
book. You're into books. Comic books are books.
yeah, and so I was just like, "Oh, well, do you sell them online?" And like got his card because he just
Didn't want
really
to
wanted
let
me to
you.
buy it.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah,
want to let you go.
I didn't know how else to say, like, it's I just
I don't like your shit, man. Okay.
like
Vampires are gross.
like it wasn't like bad or anything, but it just wasn't something I
You
wanted to
should have
buy.
told them you were into werewolves. Sorry, I'm into werewolves. And just
I
walked
think he had
away.
a werewolf one too.
Oh shit, damn. You would have
Yeah,
he would have been like, "Oh, I got the perfect thing for you," and just pulled out the other
right.
book. I think
Yeah.
the whole thing that they have at like cons with like Artist Alley is so fucking tight. I remember I remember buying they had this like metallic artist there who she did this art of no, it was just a bunch of Studio Ghibli films, but it was on this like metal plate, and it like shined in the light, and I just thought it was so cool. I bought it for my brother, and because him and his wife are a big fan of the series, or just the series of movies that they make at that studio, and it's just like really cool things that you can find there. I remember I found there was this other guy. He had a bunch of like really cute like drawings of like just like a bunch of like little animals that I like, because I like little cute foxes or like dogs and stuff. It's the cute stuff. I like cute stuff too. All right. Fuck anyone
Yeah.
else who says anything about it, but I like cute stuff too. And I remember there was this one dude. They had like a TV on the, because usually with like the vendors and stuff, it's just like usually just like white walls. It looks like a cubicle, and they just kind of like hang things on the back wall. But this guy, they had like a fucking TV, and they were like playing one of their, I think it was like a short film of like some up and coming like comic book hero that they made, and I thought it was really cool. That's pretty cool things that they got going on. So like I said, if you haven't, I'm pressing this issue, but if you haven't, go to a con, man. It's such a fun experience. Cosplaying is so cool. I didn't get to do anything like that. Did you ever cosplay at all?
No, no,
No?
I've thought about it, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think I would be in the realm of like everybody else. They'd go all out on their stuff.
Yeah. I
Be really
definitely
big.
at one point it's definitely on a list of mine to cosplay as something and then go out there and do something with it, because I think cosplaying is really cool. I just maybe like do it once and then get like the picture, because the thing is, I know I've heard some pretty bad stories about people that cosplay at cons. A lot of girls, sometimes even guys, that get like touched because like of what they're wearing, and so I'm like, I mean, I don't think I would get touched. But I mean,
You're
hey,
like, this is my no square.
I have like a little box around the places you're not allowed to touch.
That'll be your cosplay.
I remember I have a photo. Maybe I'll put it up here right now. All right, cool. I have a photo. It was a guy that cosplayed as just like a random soldier from Battlefield 1. I mean, it could have been like an actual uniform used in World War 1. It could have been. I could be just be. It's from a video game. But yeah, I just thought it was really cool. I wanted to take a picture. There's so much anxiety that comes with asking someone to take a photo. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Even though like that's what like
they want,
they're there for, basically. Yeah. Because it's like I get what you mean, because I would see like some of them like, oh, that's pretty cool, or that's a funny costume and stuff, or cosplay. I don't know what the term would be, but yeah, like uh like I'm always like, oh, I don't know, like, what is it weird to ask for a picture? But I'm like, well, that's the whole point, isn't it? So like there was this one guy, and he was like a little mini Thanos, because he was like a short one of the short person.
Yeah, small
And
person. Yeah.
and he was dressed as like Thanos and everything, and he was like kind of like shirtless almost. And so I was like, oh, can I get a picture? He's like, yeah. And he put on the mask and was all like doing the poses and stuff.
He's like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Everybody was asking him for a picture, so I'm like, I know he's doing it for that. So it just still, it's kind of weird.
It's definitely cool when you use, because okay, there's like some characters that you will see all the time at cons, depending on where you go. Like I've never been to like an anime expo type of thing, but I've like I've gone with like Vanessa to like this comic book, or more so comic book type of con, and I can't remember a lot of like the smaller amount of like cosplays, but I remember there were so many Deadpools, there were so many, and yeah, in Spider-Man, so many Deadpools and Spider-Man. I remember they were doing that. I don't know if there was like a big craze of like the whole like Aha's Take on Me, but like they were doing that dance, and I remember them like walking through one of the halls there. It's all of these places are really huge too. There's like a big crowd of people. I guess it just kind of depends on where you go, but
it depends on the convention, because they're all, some of them are really small and then some of them are really big, and WonderCon is like the second biggest one, I think.
Is it?
I'm not. I've never been to like Comic-Con or anything.
Well, we'll have to go check, because I've never been to Comic-Con. I feel like that's a really big one.
That's the big one, yeah. I've heard that one is like, it gets so packed that it's like, you know how like busy it was on the busiest day at WonderCon? I think that was Saturday.
Yeah.
It's like twice as bad as that. Like like shoulder
to shoulder. Yeah, that's exactly what I heard about Comic-Con. Shoulder to shoulder.
I've heard like the panels, if you're not in line like for a couple of hours for one, you might not even be able to get in.
That fucking
'Cause
blows.
yeah, because they only let a certain amount of people in, and it's kind of like, all right, well, you might just get cut off and be in the waiting line, and if somebody leaves during the panel, then you can go in, but otherwise, gotta
Fuck
look.
this. They're not advertising the one part I wanted in this show. I'm out. All right, sir, you're
Yeah,
allowed to go in. Yes.
yeah, but it still sounds like a pretty cool thing. I think they're still gonna have it this year.
Are
They haven't
they?
they haven't said anything about Comic-Con. They're still like, I think they're still waiting. But with
Hmm.
WonderCon, they're like, yeah, no, it's gonna be online this year. But yeah, I was gonna
Would
go
you?
last year.
Oh, okay. Were you? I know that a lot of the time when it comes to Comic Con, like the big stuff, you have to get like tickets like as soon as they drop. Is that right?
When it comes to like Comic-Con San Diego, yeah, it's that one. It's you pretty much have to like sign up the year before, and then once they're selling the tickets, they'll put you like in a waiting room thing, and you have to just kind of like be on it and just wait until your turn, and then you can buy the tickets. And I think it's like randomized or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, they sell out quick, so it's hard to get tickets.
It's pretty cool though. I know when I was younger, I wanted to go to the Anime Expo in LA. Um, I remember I couldn't go that day, but we ended up going to LA anyway. That the day of the I think it was like one of the last days for the Anime Expo, and so we ended up going to LA. We went to the observatory, and I don't know, it was just like a random day. It was just me and my family, and we ended up going past the Anime Expo as it was closing, and we actually got to go see some of the people there. There was like still like stragglers of people like cosplayers and stuff. We didn't like stop at all because it's LA. So we just kind of like, whoa, that's a really cool cosplay. And then like as you're like driving away, that's a really cool cosplay. And then like
Yeah.
the people just kind of like wave. But yeah, I think cons are pretty cool. Have you ever got to meet anyone? Maybe like I guess it could be either like through a con or just anyone that you like. You're just like, I watch you on TV, and I think you're really cool, or anyone that you like look up to. Have
Like
you
a
ever?
famous person or anything?
Yeah, yeah. I would say a
Um,
famous person. I guess so.
Not really. I don't normally go up to people.
Hmm.
But I did get an autograph from the voice actress who did Poison Ivy at one of
Ooh.
at I think it was Comic-Con Revolution, cuz they had a Batman the Animated Series panel,
Ooh.
and they had some of the cast there. So I had this Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy comic, and I wanted like people from the animated series to sign it because it was like in the the
It was like,
style of the
mm,
animated series and stuff.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, I want to get all of the voice actors to sign it and stuff. But yeah, I got to meet her and take a picture, and then I talked to her for a little bit. And
Was there
yeah,
like a smaller line for her, or was she like in her own separate area?
um, there was like a smaller line for her because it was the way that they did it was like in one corner they had all of the autographs, so it was like all the people who were there to sign stuff. Um, like you just go up to their booth. I think it was because it was a smaller convention. It wasn't like how like at say LA Comic Con, their autograph section is like way bigger, and then like the lines are usually longer because there's like more people there,
Mm-hmm.
and for some of the people they have to have like those one like line things, like
The thing like the separator. I know what you mean. They usually have
yeah,
them at like
those
movie theaters for like
barrier
waiting
things.
lines. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they usually have those, but I think because it was a smaller place, they didn't have anything crazy like that. Because the guy who voices Batman, he was there too, and I've seen him at other conventions, and his lines will usually like get pretty crazy, but then at smaller ones, it's not that, you know.
I
He's
know.
pretty cool too.
Yeah, I haven't like met the guy at all, but I've definitely like seen like his like him perform as Batman. I know there's like a bunch of footage out there of him doing it. Because it's been the same guy for a good while. I know that he gets kind of like swapped out every now and again for like the animated films. I know that he was in the actual TV show, not the Batman TV show, but he was in Days of Future Past or something like that. Or no, not Days of Future Past. What am I talking about? The Legends of Tomorrow. I think that's what the show's called. The DC show, CW.
Yeah. The one where they're time traveling.
Yeah, was it like Crisis?
Yeah, Legends of
Crisis?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Legends.
You're talking about when they did the crossovers.
Yeah, they like jumped
Crisis on
over.
Infinite Earth.
Yeah, they jumped over and they found him, and he was Batman for the first time. I think that was like the first time he'd ever done it, but like live action.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, because he's. I mean, when I think of Batman, that's the voice.
That's my Batman. That's him. He's my Batman.
That's the one I grew up on, and then Mark Hamill is the Joker. I know.
The Joker. That's
like
true.
when I read the comics, those are the voices I hear. So.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really grow up with like I know when I was growing up I didn't really watch like the animated series of Batman. I watched the Teen Titans show when I was growing up. That was what I watched. But like concerning like comic books like DC or even Marvel even I didn't really watch them like their TV shows. I know my brother, he's still into like he's into I think they have one I think it's called Young Justice. I think that's what it's called. He's into that, but I don't know. I guess I just kind of like fell out of that. I'm a little weeb now, so I like manga way more. So it's just like I guess from one thing to jump to the other. But I want to get back into it. I want to get back into like the whole comic book thing over here because I know they don't because I know they're called like anime or manga is Japanese comics. But it's just called something different for some reason. I wonder if they have any names, like in Japan. Like I wonder if they have any names for like the comics over here. Like, oh, is that like American comics or some shit like that?
I think they have like say with DC Comics, I think they even have like certain comic lines specifically for other countries too. I've heard that there's like a Justice League of China.
What?
I haven't read it yet though, but. Yet I probably won't, but
I mean,
I thought about looking into it because I was like, wait, what? Because there was like one character in the Flash who became a speedster, and then like they didn't really show her after a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching this YouTube video about like all the different Flashes and stuff, and they brought her up, and they were like, oh, she's on the Justice League of China, and they call her the Flash on there. And I was like, the Justice League of China? As I know I've heard of like a what is it? Like I know I've heard of like a Batman that was like in Europe or something, and that was like a whole storyline thing. But yeah, I guess they have like their own teams and stuff.
That's pretty cool. Like, oh. That's pretty cool. Did you I know that you've worked on something of like your own creation, but I don't know if was it a comic. Have you ever been interested in making something of like your own and like making it into a comic?
Yeah, I've always because I've had a couple of ideas, and I'm always like, oh, I could start it out as a comic, and then from there maybe decide on like turning it into a cartoon or like a live action or something. One of the ideas I had, it was honestly. It came from when we went to Comic-Con Revolution.
Yeah.
And it was when we were in that panel where that one guy was like, we were like, is this guy like a robot? Because he was like, and humans will do all this stuff. Do you remember that?
Oh, wait.
He was like going on a rant in the panel.
What it was like a question to one of the panelists?
Yeah, because because they had like two or three people come up, and I think the panel was about like um something about like selling at your booth or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were all talking about their experiences um like at conventions as a creator and everything.
Yeah.
I think it was something like that, but I just remember that one guy came up there and he was just like going off about like people and all this stuff, and but he kept saying like humans or something like that. And we are
Humans.
like, "What?" But I just remember um because I didn't really get much sleep the night before from I think I was at work or something. So I was like dying halfway through the convention. And I
Yeah.
remember while we were sitting there, I was just like, I need some coffee. And all the talk of like comics and superheroes, I just thought of this idea of like Espresso Man. It's like this superhero that he's a zombie. You don't really know how he became one. He doesn't really remember either, and his power is pretty much like when he drinks coffee or an espresso, the caffeine literally brings him back to life. And um, and then his sidekick is a French fry, and he's like very salty all the time. So he's just like, I don't even know why we're a team. Like, we don't even go together, you
So
know?
like YouTube comment sections.
Yeah, yeah. But I had a couple of ideas that I just always keep building on. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I've had there's a couple of them that were out there, and some that I'm still like working on. But I remember I had something that I could probably talk about now. It's I don't know if you're familiar with Adventure Time on Cartoon Network.
Hmm.
I love Adventure Time. I mean Jake is right here with me, and so I remember when it was gonna end. This was such a strange thing that actually happened. I remember wanting to do something with a friend of mine, and I just didn't know what to do. And we had just gone to go see this concert. It was NSP Ninja Sex Party. We went to go watch them in concert, and I was like, okay, well, I want to hang out with this person more, but I just don't know what else we can do. And I don't really remember why I downloaded this app. It might have been because I went with you guys. I doubt it, but at the same time, it could have been. It was a newsletter. That's what it was. I think that's what it was. I got a newsletter from somewhere. I don't remember where, but I got a newsletter, and it was for, I think the app is called Eventbrite, or it's for events.
Oh, yeah. I think I
Um,
know what site you're talking about.
yeah, and I got the app, and I was just kind of like scrolling through because I was just like, they had brought it up, and I just didn't know what the fuck they were on about. But it was for Adventure Time's last episode. This was like a couple years back now. Adventure Time had their last episode. The show's over now. But on their last episode, they had put it out in California's what is it called? Garden Grove, I think that's where it was. They were gonna have they have a theater there. I think it's an AMC. They were gonna have a showing of the last episode, and then they're after the showing, they were gonna have a Q&A with a couple of the people that worked on the show, which was Adam Muto. Muto, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's basically, I think he was the showrunner or the writer after the creator left to do like his own thing. And then there was Marceline and the person that played Marceline, Olivia. I don't remember her name. I think it might have been Johnson. And then Finn, the human, was there as well. I actually don't remember his name, but I know that he was working on. I think it was what are they called? The Autobots, Transformers. They were working on Transformers. So he had like another side gig thing that he was going on. But those three were there. It was pretty cool. But I think the cool thing. I don't remember why I brought that up.
Oh, I think we were going into your idea, your idea for your Adventure Time.
Oh, okay.
Cartoon.
Okay. Thank you. Recentering where I was. But yeah, so this whole thing happens. The whole event. We watched the last episode. It's great. I had a good time. I go home, and then it hits me like a fucking ton of bricks. I'm like, oh my god, there's not going to be a new Adventure Time episode. There's no more. It's basically anything that you feel when like one of your favorite shows ends, and there's nothing else after that. Yeah. So, I'm hitting that wall really hard, and I'm just like, maybe I just need to listen to some music and like maybe get out of the mood. And then it go purely coincidental. I'm over here in my Explore. I have Spotify, and I'm in my the Explore. It's the Spotify makes a playlist for you. I think it's like every week or every month or something, and I think it's every week. But it's an Explore playlist for things that sound like things that you like, and it just so happened they played one of the songs from Adventure Time, and I'm like, that's it. I'm gonna turn this into something productive. And so I started making, I guess you can say it's like a fanfic, because it involves the characters, but like not really. I made this fanfic, I guess you could say, and it was just futuristic, like 100 years in the future. These characters that you knew in the show are gone now, most of them, and I had this whole elaborate plan to like go back into the show and soundbite some of the characters and be like, they could say certain things here because I don't need them to talk much, and this and that, because I remember from like the main cast of characters, the only ones that would have popped up again and with like no changes throughout like their voice or whatever would have been the little robot BMO, Marceline, and Princess Bubblegum. And we had like this whole thing with like the future, and there was 2 new characters, but me and Ray were in it, and like we had their names were Dax and Rag, and because that was our names back then, and we had our own theme song. It was really fucking tight. But recently we had like we had that idea, and then I could probably post them or I could probably put the photos up. Johnny, me and Vanessa's good friend, he drew some of like the art for it, or what they would look like, and I looked at it and I'm like, this is nice. This is really nice. I posted it on Reddit, and then I got shit for it on fucking Reddit because they were just like, this is just a knockoff version of this character and that character. And I'm just like, no. It's like my first criticism, and I'm just like, God fucking damn it, you're right. So
hey man, sometimes Reddit can be unkind.
Yeah, they can be fucking assholes, man. But some of them are really cool about it. Some of them are like, wow, I like this, I'd like to see where this goes, this and that and this. But so I had this whole script. I actually read it on one of my live streams, but when I did Twitch, I read out the whole script, which was like 30 minutes to like 45 minutes. And we not too long ago decided to scrap it and just start over. And now the way it is now, it's completely different. That's why I felt comfortable with sharing it, because there's nothing from what it initially was that's in it today. So it's just like, yeah, this whole idea, it really does change. Like for projects in general, just kind of change over time.
Yeah.
Like it really a lot, because now, like literally the story that we have now, because we're still working on something Adventure Time-esque, but and I'll share it when it comes to light, when we get enough work on it done. But it is completely different, and it's kind of like doesn't really have to do with the original characters.
Yeah. Oh wow. So I didn't know that you just completely started over on it.
Yeah, it was a tough decision, but I just was like, I want to recast just kind of like everything, and like it's still connected in some way, and when it comes to light, you guys will see it, and I'll probably give you a copy of it if you wanted it, because I do plan on like probably printing out some like comic type stuff from it. So yeah, there'll be that in the works. But also talking about like continuing on about like comic books and stuff. There's this really neat app that I got into. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's called Tapas or Tapas, and I recommend you checking it out. You and all the viewers. They have the. It's this is just all a big ad.
Like, is this a plug? Are you plugging right now?
No.
You sponsored?
No, I just think it's like a really cool thing. I just if they want to
Yeah.
fucking sponsor me, I'm down, man. Hey, come shoot that sponsor money, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really cool. I think you guys should definitely check them out. I read a bunch of like comics on there. Not like they're not like mainstream comics or whatever, but there are pretty good ones on there. So Nessa or anyone that's watching, Tapas TAPAS.com. It's not a plug. It's not a plug. I swear. I like them a lot.
Just make sure to the link in the description.
20% off. Link in the description. You get your own membership today. Tapas.com/Daxter O'Hannon. That's not real. Don't sue me, please. I just like your website.
Right.
But let's jump this conversation over to how we met, so that people know how we got to know each other, and just like the jump over of what was a friendship, I guess you could say. So I'll let you go ahead and tell your side of things, of how we ended up meeting, and then how we got to where we are today, and then I'll tell my side of things.
Okay. Well, pretty much we met in. It was right after I graduated from high school, because I went to high school with your brother, and so it was me, your brother, and Amparo. We would always it would always be like mainly us three, and then like some of our other friends as well. We would always hang out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was through Mark that I met you and the rest of your family, and then I don't know, we kind of just like took you under our wing at some point.
Yeah.
I feel like eventually you just started hanging out with us a lot more, and then eventually I think Mark went off and did his own thing, and then like we were just the three amigos.
Three amigos. That's
I don't know.
right. That's right. I
Yeah.
from my side of things, we went. Okay, so I first met you. It was right before. I think it was right before. Because I know from what you were. From what I've heard from you before, you had just gotten into the school that, the high school that my brother was at, your senior year.
Yeah. Yeah, because pretty much I was in like Beaumont for pretty much middle school and high school, and then the summer before senior year we moved to San Bernardino, and then that's when I went to Arroyo, I guess.
Yeah,
And
Royo.
what's crazy is I didn't know that you guys moved there like halfway through the year.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
just that's true. Like we had just gotten there. When we moved, we were already like a month late into the school system, because in LA, well at the time, I guess I don't know if either LA was late or maybe they just had a different system in San Bernardino, but August. You guys started in August. But in over there in LA, we would usually start school in September. It was like early September, but yeah, so it was like a month difference. So I remember when I went into school, I got shit from I got shit from my math teacher, because they were like, "Oh, why are they putting you in my class? You're a month late, so you don't understand all the stuff that we're talking about or whatever." Because I didn't understand how to do graphs. Still to this day, I don't know how to do graphs like the y equals x squared.
Is that geometry?
Was that geometry? No, that was a
I don't know
pre-algebra?
how to do those either.
pre-algebra, I think.
I don't think I know how to do those either.
I loved math when I was a kid. I fucking loved it. I think I got such a big fucking head because of middle school. But then I also, like, as from when I jumped from middle school LA to middle school San Bernardino, my big head got fucking squished into like nothing, because they were like, yeah, you're basically
You're
garbage.
you're like you think you're smart in elementary, and then you go to like middle school or high school, and you're like, oh, I'm not smart.
Yeah. Oh.
That's that's
This
how
is-
I felt. Because I used to get like straight A's or whatever they called them, because they're not A, B, and C in elementary, which is weird.
really?
I think it's like S. It's like S for satisfactory or something.
Oh, you unlocked
But
the memory. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
but uh but yeah, I just remember I was always got really good grades in elementary, but in middle school at, during 7th grade, I remember they were like they had to have a whole teachers meeting and to tell like my grandparents that I might have to be held back a year if I don't start turning things in and stuff.
Listen,
And
ma'am, your kid,
like yeah,
she's
like
not gonna make it in this world. All right, she's
all
too
six of
fucking
my
dumb.
teachers there, all 6 of my teachers were there just like saying how bad I'm doing.
Welcome to the meeting. We're glad you
Yeah.
could come.
It was I thought it was funny because they were trying to like say that the reason why I was doing so bad was because I wasn't making friends. And I'm like, no, the reason why I'm doing bad is because I made friends.
You're
That
sitting there.
I'm too busy like just procrastinating and talking. I don't know why it was like if I didn't finish half of the work, I wouldn't turn it in because I'm like, there's no point. But then I would get no grade. So like my I just remember my English teacher was like, yeah, like this is her the first semester, see, and then the second semester, this is all I got, and in the folder was like 3 papers. I was just like, I'm just lazy. That's really what happened. I just
Oof.
got lazy.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, I get that a lot. So when I moved over from LA to San Bernardino, um by then it was hitting hard. I can't blame it all on so my dad got sick. For the people that don't know, my dad got sick. He got like cancer and stuff, and it was all bad and sad and shit. But I don't want to put a lot of blame on that because I feel like a lot of it was kind of like before that had happened. I just love fucking video games so fucking much when I was a kid. Like I remember I would go home. So my normal thing would be I would be at school, bear it for however long it is, and the cool thing about it was I lived like right down the street from my elementary. So this I feel like this problem kind of started in elementary because I would go home. My parents, I guess that was like a bad thing, was that they never really checked my homework. So I guess in the future, parents out there, you should check your kids' homework. And you should know what they're
Yeah.
doing because so my mom and my dad, did you do your homework? Yeah. All right. Let me see it. And then I would show them something that it wasn't the homework, but it was something that we did in class, but it was like one of those things that weren't important. So I'd be like, see, I did it already. And they'd be like, and then they'd be like, okay. And so like I just continue playing, and that's basically all I did. I think I started doing that in like we had the PS3. That had to be like after 2009. So like 4th grade, 5th grade, around there is when I started doing that. And I feel like that kind of like spiraled me into this like I don't want to do homework. I want to just play video games all the time. So I can't place all the blame of me starting to like deteriorate my grades and all that other shit in school. Because I remember when I was younger, I actually got offered to become. It was like this like the smart kids, right? They have this whole other program for the smart kids, and they made me choose. They were like, "You want to be part of this program where you graduate." Like early from the elementary and you go into this whole other thing and whatever. And, or you could just stay in like the normal system or whatever. And, there's things that like I'm proud of or whatever. And my mom and my dad, like the really cool thing about them is that they gave me the choice. They were like, they didn't want to be those kind of parents that were like, you're gonna do better, you're gonna live, you're gonna, you know, do whatever the fuck, that you don't need these trash ass people or whatever. But they were like,
Yeah.
what do you want to do? And I had friends and stuff that I really, really like enjoyed like being with them and stuff, and I liked my teachers. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go into this like tight ass fucking, yeah, like those teachers were assholes, and they were like known to be dicks. So I was like, I don't want to go through that. So I was like, fuck that. I don't want to do that. And they were like, well, okay, we won't have to then. And so we said no to the offer. I didn't become part of that. So that could have been like a whole different other thing. But anyway, so because of that, my grades didn't really go so great. And so I think it really started to hit in 7th grade. I didn't do too bad, but I didn't do too great. I'd say I got like C's and B's. But then when I moved over to San Bernardino, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I remember I had a couple of F's at one point, and luckily, you know, my dad is a fucking trooper, man. He, even though he had the sickness, he helped me out. One of our big projects, it was 2 of them actually. One of the big projects I had was for English. I think I had a D in her class, but because of this project I got a B. It was a project where you had to like make this like you had to talk about like this big time era for English and whatever it was, I don't really remember, but I had to make this thing out of just like our imagination or whatever. And I wrote up this whole thing about like my story of coming to America from Mexico and this and that and this. And my dad, the thing that honestly got me the grade that I got, he made this out of a shoebox. He made this really, I still have it. It's a shoebox that looks like a suitcase, and it's an orange suitcase, and it's really cool. And yeah, he got me that grade. He also helped me out with I remember, man, school's fucking tough. I remember I'm starting to remember like just about everything. I remember I had like this, yeah, it's like, oh god, I had this like mental fucking breakdown because of this shit. Because like all just like a bunch of stress. And for, I think it was pre-algebra. This was the woman that made me feel so fucking stupid. This was the smart kids. This is what I was part of. Because when I moved there initially, they put me with like a class that was like a class that that in LA was in 6th grade. So I already knew everything. So I had smooth sailing. So when I was like, yeah, I'm already done.
I've already done this.
I didn't tell them that. I was just like, I already did it. Yeah. And they were like, oh, you know this stuff? And I'm like, oh, it just comes kind of simple to me. And
I'm just a natural.
I'm just a natural. What can I say? Huh. And then they were like, well, you're just too smart to be in this class. And I'm like, what? And then they pushed me, into the other class. And then I was like, no. And I was like the stupid kid again. And the cool thing about it was with my dad helping me out, we ended up making this like pretty cool portfolio and explanations of all the things that we learned throughout the year. That was the final project or whatever. Me and 2 other people throughout that whole, like the whole class or all her classes that she had, me and 2 other people were the only ones that did all of them. And I got, wow. From a D, I went up to a B for the same thing from the other class, from a D to a B. And I got fucking bullied because I was one of those people that did it. They were like, you fucking bitch, you fucking teacher's pet. I'm like, what do you mean? I fucking did my work. Fuck you guys. Like, what the fuck?
Right?
You guys are
like,
fucking
hey,
dumb.
Man, if I didn't do it, I might not pass.
Yeah, man. Those guys got fucking C's and shit. But yeah, it was definitely a change. So that was when I came from LA to San Bernardino. We went on like a long tangent there. Sorry, but we went to San Bernardino, then we moved up, and I think it was around that time because I remember you and Mark and Amparo. You guys had a big bunch of friends before, but you know, it's high school.
slowly, yeah. That's why I was like, it was mainly the three of us, but we were a bigger group. We just slowly,
Yeah, people
yeah,
do their own things. It happens if you're in high school and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to be friends with these guys forever." I'm sorry to break it to you, but
yeah,
that's not how it works.
yeah.
It, just, keep the close friends close. I would say
Mhm.
just that. Just keep the close friends close. But yeah, so you guys start hanging out. I have a we don't have it anymore, I don't think. It must be back on the PlayStation 3. It was the what is it? The Nutter Butter, the
Oh,
the
the
photo.
picture that you got of me, I have like triple chins or something.
Yeah. Where there's like
Yeah.
this really good photo of Vanessa here back in 2012. She has a she has a box of what are they called? Nutty bars. The host, or they're not even Hostess. They're like the little Debbie's or some
They're
shit.
they're like Nutter Butters, aren't they? Or no? Oh, they're the. Are they called Nutter Butters? They're the ones
Nutty
where they're
bars,
like they're
nutty
like
something.
wafers. Those are the
Yeah,
wafers ones, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember you were just your hands in it, and you're like.
I didn't know you were taking pictures of me.
I think it was my brother. I don't think it was me. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it was around that time. So I think it was like a little bit before. Well, I knew you a little bit before you guys graduated, but I definitely started to get to know you guys afterward. But I think we really started to like hang out, like not as my brother's friends, but like as just friends after I graduated, I'd say. Because I knew you guys, because that was back in like
I want to say it was
2016.
before that though.
Really? Because I don't
Yeah, because
really.
I remember we would always hang out even before that, and maybe like
That's
a year or so before that.
I think yeah. I'm starting. I remember that I remember I thought of this when we were talking about anime earlier. When we talked, you brought up DBZ or whatever, and then I had this. It was like a shot. Shoo! It got into me, and I was like, I was watching One Piece, and you came in. It was back when I lived at the Pasito house. You came in and you were like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm watching One Piece." And I'm like, "This is such a cool show." Blah blah
And
blah. And
I was like, "Oh, you're one of those."
yeah, you're one of those people. And I'm like, "What do
I
you
was.
mean?" And you were making fun of like the way they talk. You're like, "Oh, look at them. They, like her mouth is open and like what is she? She's not even saying anything."
That's what, yeah. Well, that's what got me out of watching Dragon Ball Z was as I got older, it just and like it started to annoy me how they'd be like, oh, like just grunting when nothing was happening, or like the really long reactions. I know that's also why people like it, but I don't know. It takes me out of it.
Hey man,
But
each to their own. Each to their own. But yeah, that was I remember that. But yeah. So I suppose like that was what back in 2015 where we like started hanging out a lot more. And I think yeah, I was actually on your guys. Well, you had a podcast once upon a time. You
yeah,
guys, you and Johnny, you guys had a podcast, and I was on there for 2 episodes. I was on there for 2 episodes. I played your a good character, and then you guys had
yeah.
me on
That
just
one
as
was
myself.
good. That was good. I wanted to. I thought about like, oh, that'd be cool if that was like a recurring thing. Like you come in every couple episodes or so and just do like a random character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yeah, that was a different time, I guess.
A different time.
Yeah, I forget about it sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, we were doing that. We
We
did that
did
for like
that.
a year.
We did that. Yeah, man.
I mean, technically it was longer than that, but we only uploaded for a year.
It's a fun time. It's a really fun time. I really do enjoy doing it.
Hmm.
And I enjoy everyone who listens. You should share it with your friends. Do all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because we're great. This is a great podcast. You can't tell me different because it don't hurt my ego.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun the more you do it too, because the more you get into a groove and stuff.
Yeah, and the really cool thing is, it's since it's just like me doing this podcast, I just kind of like hop around with like friends and people that I enjoy talking to, and Yeah, I just really do enjoy different perspectives is something that I really want to get like into, and like just people's like their outlooks on life and stuff, cuz like maybe so let's say that like me and Ray do a podcast but that doesn't connect with somebody, but then me and you do this podcast and then it does connect with somebody. So it's just like that I like being able to show that relatability so that people, because I know once upon a time, you know, I was a teenager and I was like, I'm alone in this world. And, you know, people online helped me get through that. And I never met these people online, but, you know, these people that just kind of talk about their life experiences can help you, not like intentionally, but you knowing that you're not alone in like certain experiences, it definitely helps. And also it's a good distraction from shitty things that happen in life, because they happen. But with that, I think we're going to start to wrap it up. Vanessa, I want to thank you so much for being such a good friend, and you're just so amazing. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. Oh my gosh.
Anytime. You know, it's also good to see you since you've been in Seattle.
That's true. That's true. We haven't really talked too much. But we're gonna change that. We should play some video games. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so crazy to think that, like, if you look at a map right now, like, you're way up here and I'm way down here.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know. Makes sense in my head.
But yeah, you're right though. You're right though. It definitely, like, when you look at a map, or when you
think about it, we're literally across the country.
Yeah.
Talking right now.
I'm above you. I wouldn't say across the country, because
it's technically right, because you're in the north and I'm in the south.
That's just true.
It's not across this.
Yeah,
way.
It's not like diagonal. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
That's true. In a way, that is true. In a way, and I think the really cool thing is that it's the same time for me and you, PST. So like, I don't have to be like, shit, what time is it for them? Yeah, are they 3 hours or 2 hours ahead? Because like scheduling issues is always a fucking thing with like trying to find some time to like have a sit down for like an hour and a half with people to just chat them up and talk about things. But yeah, I'm really glad that you found some time to let me chat you up and be on the podcast and all that fun stuff. I really do appreciate you being here. Vanessa, Cuzimadinosaur, also known as Lenny on the Not Even Lying podcast. There is YouTube for that. All her fun little links will be down in the description. One more time, thank you so much, Vanessa, for being here. I really do appreciate it. Such a great fucking person. Go fucking follow her on everything. And yeah. All right, we're done here. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.